Everyone is worried about AI replacing them, but the truth might be more uncomfortable than that. AI isn't the thing replacing you. Convenience is. Right now, human capacity is quietly dying, not from machines taking over, but from 1,000 small, easy buttons. And the danger is subtle because easy feels like progress, but biologically, something else is happening. We are becoming the first civilization in history that is actively removing the very friction that made humans powerful. And if we remove the friction, we also remove the training. Think about how much of modern life is built around eliminating effort. We want the fastest commute, the app that delivers groceries in 15 minutes, the software that writes emails for us, AI that summarizes books, navigation that tells us where to turn, autocomplete that finishes our sentences. Everything is being optimized for less thinking, less effort, less resistance. At first, that feels like advancement, but there's a paradox hidden inside convenience. Convenience doesn't just remove difficulty. It removes training. For most of all of human history, friction wasn't an option, or it wasn't optional. Friction was the teacher. If you wanted food, you hunted. If you wanted answers, you wrestled with the question. If you wanted shelter, you built it. Your body was under load. Your mind was under pressure. Your brain had to hold problems long enough to solve them. And that process did something important. It built capacity. Muscles grow under load. Bones strengthen under stress. Skill develop through repetition. Character sharpens under pressure. In other words, difficulty was the gym. But today, we're sprinting towards something different. A world with almost zero friction. Navigation removes startled thinking. Search engines remove memory training. Autocomplete removes word formation. And increasingly, AI removes cognitive strain. Now, don't misunderstand me. Technology itself isn't the enemy. AI is a tool, a powerful one. But tools can either strengthen you or replace you. And that depends entirely on how you use them. If you use technology to amplify your thinking, you expand. If you use it to avoid thinking, you shrink. Here's the real danger. Human beings are adaptive. If the environment starts demanding effort, we slowly stop developing effort. And the change happens quietly. Most people today can't drive across their own city without GPS. 50 years ago, people could navigate entire regions using paper maps, and memory. We don't memorize phone numbers anymore. We rarely calculate anything mentally. Even writing is starting to become outsourced. And again, none of this feels dangerous in the moment because convenience always feels harmless. But convenience is quietly training something. It's training dependence. Dependence. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. They're wobbly, falling, scraped knees, moments of frustration. You remember that? But that friction is exactly what teaches the child balance. Now, remove all that struggle. Imagine a bike that never tips over, a bike that rides perfectly on its own. The child might move forward, but they would never actually learn how to balance. Convenience is doing something very similar to adults. It allows movement without developing the capacity behind the movement. And here's the truth many people don't want to hear. You can avoid voluntary friction, but you cannot avoid involuntary friction. Life will eventually demand something from you, a crisis, a problem, a moment where the shortcuts disappear. And in that moment, capacity becomes the only currency that matters. One day, the easy button will fail. The GPS will stop working. The prompt won't load. The shortcuts will disappear. And when that happens, the world will quietly divide into two groups. The people who trained their capacity and the people who outsourced it. So here's a simple experiment. Try something this week. Do one thing the hard way. Write something without AI. Navigate somewhere without GPS. Solve a problem without searching it. Sit with confusion a little longer than usual, because confusion isn't failure. Confusion is construction. When you struggle towards clarity, your brain is building architecture. But if you skip the struggle, you skip the build. The world is going to need people who can think without prompts, navigate without arrows, solve without shortcuts. Not because technology disappears, but because real problems still require real minds. So don't fear AI. Fear becoming someone who cannot function without it. Because the real threat to human potential was never intelligence outside of us. It was comfort inside of us. Friction is not your enemy. Friction is your edge. Please choose your resistance before life chooses it for you.